Man, I absolutely love a good jalapeno popper, but there's only one problem with jalapeno poppers. You never know how hot that pepper is. You could go to one restaurant and they're just mildly hot. And then the next restaurant, they look the same, but it's hellfire in your mouth type of hot. So I'm going to show you a secret to control that heat. The first thing we need to do is slice some medium-sized jalapeno peppers right down the middle. Now, if they're arched up a little bit, just try to center the knife on the arch with the arch facing the knife. You want to go ahead and slice them right in the middle with the stem. That way each piece has a little piece of stem, and that's where you hold on to the jalapeno popper when you go to take a bite. In order to control the heat of a jalapeno popper, we have to know where the heat comes from. And I think most of us are aware that a lot of the heat comes from the seeds. And if you leave just one seed in the pepper, the heat goes up a lot. And so the more seeds you leave, the hotter that pepper gets. But what a lot of us don't realize is the heat comes from another place on the pepper as well. And it's where all the seeds are kind of hanging out. It's the membrane on the pepper itself. That membrane holds almost just as much heat as the seeds do. And so if you want to control that heat, you scrape that membrane down. And the more you scrape that membrane, the lower the heat of the pepper will be. So now it's time to make the filling for these jalapeno poppers, and we're going to go with 1 package of light cream cheese. Then we're going to add about a cup of sharp cheddar, and now I'm going to add just a dash of this raised barbecue sauce. Amazing stuff. It's going to just add that nice little barbecue flavor, as well as this Kinder's rub. We're going to mix this all up. Now the trick here is to make sure that your cream cheese has been sitting on your counter for about 3 hours. If you do that, it'll blend together nice and smooth. Now we're going to go ahead and put this in a sandwich bag, and this sandwich bag is good, but a lot of the bags that you find on the market look like this, and they're next to impossible to do this with. The corner has to be just a regular corner. I'm going to go ahead and put all of the filling in the bag, trying to be as least messy as possible. We're going to clean that zip lock, that way it'll actually zip lock, and we're going to snip the corner off. And that's very important in how you do that, because the bigger the snip, the more chance you're going to have of blowing the bag out and overfilling the pepper. The smaller the zip, same thing, the more chance you're going to have of blowing the bag out or getting the right amount of filling in the pepper. And so after I get all the peppers filled, I'm going to go ahead and just take my finger and kind of move it around just a little bit to fill the gaps. And this is probably a little bit of an OCD thing, because once they heat up, they kind of melt and fill the gaps anyway. But it's how I do things. I'm going to use a pellet smoker to put a little bit of smoke on these guys as we melt this cheese and cook these peppers. 375 degrees is where we're going to start. I'm going to use my Rectech RT680. You can use any grill you want. And we're going to take this up another level by putting these dudes on some cast iron, because cast iron, grilling, and barbecue just go together so well. About 3/4 of the way through this cook, I'm going to go ahead and raise the temperature to 425 degrees. What that's going to do is make sure our cheese gets nice and melted. When they're done, well, they're done when that cheese fills the inside of that jalapeno popper and has a little bit of smoke on it. Obviously, the more color on it, the more intense the flavor, so it's kind of up to you. Let's try one of these jalapeno poppers. Still pretty hot. Let's see where that heat is. One to 10. 1 being no heat at all, like a bell pepper. 10 being the hottest pepper you've ever had in your life. 2. For real. A 2. Because scraping that membrane on the inside and making sure there's no seeds, I'm telling you, game changer. You can allow grandma, mom, dad, whoever it is that doesn't like hot stuff, they can now enjoy poppers without having to worry about their mouth and throat being set on fire. Man, it's so good. Right on the outside of the popper, there's this really thin layer of like smoky goodness that just kind of, the cheese isn't, I don't want to say it's hard, but it's just a little stiffer than it is down inside. And so when you bite into it, you get that little bit of crunch from where we had the poppers on the cast iron on the bottom, and then that little tiny bit of crunch where the smoke is on the cheese, and it's amazing. It truly is amazing, and they're for anyone that wants to give them a shot. Try them a couple times to make sure you got them down right, and then next time you're around some family or friends that might not enjoy spicy food, ask them to try it. See what they think. Try something new, you know? You never know what you're missing. That membrane out, make sure there's no seeds, and anybody can try those, including the kids. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do me a favor. Go down into the store, buy something, buy some merch if you like the merch. But most importantly, like the video, share it on a social media wall where someone might enjoy cooking like we do. It'll help me grow the channel, reach more people. I hope you guys have an awesome week, and I can't wait to see you on the next video.